Okay, hello everyone. Today I will be doing the 10th project in the 11th project in the Arduino starter kit titled Crystal Ball. It's basically going to be using a LCD, liquid color display, I believe. That's what that stands for. Liquid crystal display. Sorry. But to display a bunch of messages. So let's get right into it. So we're gonna need a tilt sensor. Is this guy, and then a potentiometer, and then our LCD. Now the thing with LCDs is they have a bunch of pins and they're labeled. It's very small, but they have labels over here, and each pin has like a specific use and a specific way to be connected. We can get into more of that when we actually start making the connections. But let's first start with our other devices, our tilt sensor. So let's get that guy in. Like so. Okay. Then, so with the tilt sensor, we need to connect one end to power. Like that. And then the other end, we will use a 10k ohm resistor to connect it to ground. Do that. So the reason why the resistor isn't going directly to ground is because we also want to connect that end to the Arduino without putting the Arduino connection to ground as well. Sort of. So let's do this. So this one will go to pin 6, it seems. Okay. And then we will connect the other end of the resistor to ground. Oh, hello. Like that. And now for the potentiometer. 2 pins and 1 middle pin. So I like to put the middle pin on the other side, while the 2 regular pins just go in. Okay. And we will connect one end to power, other end to ground, and then the middle pin will go to the board. So let's connect the middle pin. So the middle pin, it seems like it'll go to one of the LCD pins. So I guess let's plug this in then. Use something to prop it up. And it looks like this middle pin is hard to find now. middle pin, let's see, we'll go to the third pin. So it goes to the third pin. Get that unplugged. Okay. So it looks like it's going to the VO pin, or pin number 3. So that's going to allow us to change the contrast of the screen. Okay, so now all the connections we need to do are the LCDs. So pin 16, which is the VCC, or the VSS pin, needs to go to ground. Or is that LED minus? No, that's LED minus. So pin 16 is LED minus, goes to ground. So on that. Okay. Review. Yeah. This goes to ground. Needs a shorter wire for that. That's in, so that's connected to ground. And then the pin below that will go to power. LED plus, I believe it is. But the thing with that one is that it also needs to go through a 220 ohm resistor, just to keep things keep the circuit device, the LCD, safe from too much current going through, as we normally put in our series resistor to help combat that. So let's do that. The 220 ohm resistor will go through to power from the other end of the wire. Okay, and looks like pins 14 through 11 will be connected to the board directly, the Arduino. So let's do that. Yeah. So that's our D7 pin on the board. Goes to pin number 2 in the Arduino. And then we have our D6 pin. And what these pins do is it basically will take the input from the board, or from the code, and it'll tell the LCD to do something. So these are like our input pins. So let me keep connecting these. Okay, then just one more. And this goes to pin 5. Okay. So next, going to the bottom pins. So just like we did on the top, we need to connect it to ground. and power. So the last pin, pin 1, goes to ground. And then the other pin will go to power. Pin 2 will go to power. Like so. And then pin 4 will go to the board, and pin 5 will also go to ground. So let's do that. Because pin 4 is the RS pin, which is the register select pin, so that tells the board, the LCD, where the characters will show up. So the board will put that information in. And then let's see. The 5th pin is the read/write pin. So then putting it to ground puts it in write mode. So I believe that what you can do is you could also put that to the board and then have the board tell it whether or not you want to read or write. But for now, this will be a sufficient way. And then lastly, pin 6 will go to the board as well, as pin 6 is your enable pin. So let's do that. There's the pin 10 on the board. So the wires are a little crisscrossed, but that's due to the nature of the board needing certain connections. So take off that screen. And yeah, so that's it for the connections. Let's go into the code now. So our first step in the code is we need to add a library in so that we can use appropriate functions. So we do #include, and then the library is liquidcrystal.h. And then we need to use the liquid crystal LCD declaration. So this is declaring that we have an LCD board, and then these are the appropriate pins that we have set up to the LCD. The 12, 11, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. Next, we will declare our other pins as we normally do. So let's do that. And then our switch state is initially 0. And our previous switch state is also 0. And we have a reply integer, I guess. So going into the setup, it looks like we have to use the function lcd.begin. So this function probably just tells the LCD to turn on, and then which pins to turn on. So after we've done that, now we do our pin modes. So our switch pin is an input pin. So now we will also do LCD print, which tells the LCD what characters to display. And then lcd.setCursor so that tells us where the LCD screen is going to move its cursor. So it's going to move it to the first column on the second line, as 0, 0 is the first column on the first line. So and then it'll print from there another statement. Okay, and then now going into the loop. So we will read our switch input by digital reading the switch pin. And then if our switch state is not equal to the previous switch state, and if switch state equals low, we will reply random. So the random function will return a number based on the argument, which is 8. So there will be 8 different responses. So it'll give the value of a number between 0 and 7. So next we will do lcd.clear. So this will clear the LCD, and then we will set the cursor back to the beginning, or at 0, 0. And I guess we're printing a message. The ball says, and then we will set our cursor to the second row again. So now we are using a switch statement. So the way a switch statement works is you give it a bunch of cases, so, and then you do a colon, and then after that line, then if the certain variable that you insert, so reply in this case, whatever the value of reply, so if it's 0, then it'll run that case, and it'll do everything below it until it reaches break. So we will do this. LCD print yes, and then break. And then we will do case 1. So it looks like we are just printing our random responses for the ball or for the LCD. So I'll keep doing that. So let's keep doing this. So in the past, I've used these kind of switch statements to do various things, such as like creating a menu interface, as in like it gives you a bunch of, it asks you to input like a certain letter or a certain option, telling you like what feature of the program you want to use, and then depending on what you input, the switch case statement will run the appropriate function. So that's this switch statement is pretty powerful. Looks like that's it. And then lastly, we will update our switch state. Okay. So all of these print statements here we could change to be any reply we want it to. So you can always customize that if you really want to. Let's plug this in and let's upload the sketch and let's see if this works. So okay, unexpected something. I see. Forgot to call the function LCD. Okay. Okay, semicolon. Okay, so the letters aren't showing up, so need to figure out why that's happening. Maybe I need to turn the potentiometer. and switch this to now. Okay, it's still not showing up, so okay, maybe something's not plugged in properly. Well, it's powering on. Okay. Potentiometer works. And on the wrong connection. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Four goes to pin 11. Okay. 5 goes to ground. And 6 goes to. Oh, I see. It's pin 12 and pin 11, not pin 11 and pin. That. So I have the wrong pins. Okay, so maybe if I do this now, it will work this time. Okay, yeah, so the text actually starts showing up. That's cool. So backwards here, so try to flip this around. Okay. So I can do this. That's supposed to reset it, but it's not resetting it. Okay, ask the crystal ball. So we can ask it a question like, is it going to rain tomorrow? And then we trigger the tilt switch, and then it'll answer the question. So I guess it's raining tomorrow. And ask other things like, is my next project gonna work on the first try? Outlook good, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this project. Yeah, so the problem I ran into earlier was that I had my one of my wires was not connected to the right pin, and then on the LCD, and then both of the wires were on the wrong Arduino pin. So then the code that we had was declaring the LCD to set up for certain pins on the Arduino, and since those weren't the connections weren't there, then the program didn't work. But yeah, so that's it for this project. Pretty cool. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next stream.